Good morning, everyone. Hi, it's me again, Tina. I'm here on live for our third ever tutorial. I hope you've enjoyed my first two. And if you haven't been able to follow the first two, go ahead onto the YouTube channel and look at the first two that I've done. Right. So those of you who don't know me, I'm a quilling artist. I've been doing this for about 2.5 years, and I am a self-taught quilling artist. So today I've got something really special to show you. Last two sessions we did some basic shapes, and in those basic shapes you learned quite a bit of how to create custom shapes and assemble different shapes together to create your lovely little creations. So today what I'm going to show you is the elements that go into making this little creation that I've put together. You've got the curling comb petals, you've got the ornate scrolls, you've also got the teardrops, the type coils, and you've also got the what's it called, the teardrops assembled into two pieces. So there's quite a few elements that have gone into this to create this gorgeous little piece, which is so vibrant and refreshing. So without taking up too much time, I'm just going to delve right into all the pieces that we've created before. I'll show you the samples of it this time. And I know that a lot of you had mentioned that you can't really see me very well what I'm doing. So what I've decided to do today is use a black board or card, and I'm going to use that to make sure that you can see properly. So we have our tight coil, we've got a closed loose coil, we've got a loose coil which is open. Do you know what? I just realized I'm going to tilt this a little bit. Maybe that will help, or not. And then we've got a teardrop. We've got an eye. You can see that properly. There we go. An eye, a marquise, which is curved at both ends. You've got a C scroll, an S scroll, a V scroll, and a heart scroll. We also have a paisley and an ornate scroll. This, if you remember, I showed you it's made up of multiple strips. And so today I'm going to show you how to stick curls like this, because they're so fragile, and if you just use the normal glue, they will actually get ruined. Also, I'm going to show you how to use a new tool, which is a quilling comb. You can use a normal wide comb. I hope you can see that. Or you can use this kind of a comb, standard or kind of comb that you'd use on afro hair, or special tool, which is, again, for multi ways of doing it. And you also have little pins that you can poke into here or place into here to create your curled or combed pieces. But I'll show you that in just a moment. So I hope that made sense so far. So those of you that have joined me, do say hi, and I will go ahead and start showing you how to use a comb. So I'm going to put these away, and once I've done that, I will go ahead and show you how to do the comb. How has your Easter weekend been? I hope it's been okay, and I hope you've enjoyed it. Mine was lovely. It was so sunny, and we played out in the garden. The kids absolutely loved it. So going back to the curling comb, I'm going to put this down. So for the combing, Oh no, I didn't show you what actually you can do with a combed piece. So with a comb piece, it's something like this. So you've got standard one, which is just by using the curls, you just go round and round on your comb to create a piece like this. You can create petals like this, which has the combed piece inside covered with another straight strip on the outside. I hope you guys can see that. You see how ornate this looks? Yeah, there we go. What you can also do is you can create petals like this. So you've got individual curls inside a larger curl, and that actually looks really nice. You can use like this fern kind of, you can create fern pieces, which is lovely as well. And for those of you who have been following my journey of quilling, you'll notice that I made a Sai Baba portrait, and that Sai Baba portrait was actually made using literally thousands of these combed pieces. So if you haven't seen my Sai Baba one, hop over to my Instagram page where you'll see this portrait of a beautiful saint, and I used this technique. But I'll show you how to create these combs. Another thing you can do is using 3 elements. So you've got a marquise in the middle, and then you've got a combed piece at the top, surrounded by a straight strip, so outlined, to create this beautiful petal that I've created here. Here you go. Hope you can see that. There we go. Okay, so putting this aside, to create the comb, what you'll need is a strip, a really long one, generally. So for my strip, I've gone for a yellow one. Don't know, something about yellow today. You'll need a yellow strip, or any strip really. You need some glue, and as you know, I love using my glue cones, which I make myself and fill them up with tacky glue. And what you do is you take the strip, you put it in a comb, yeah, curl it up one time, and you glue it. Roll it over. So now you've created this one loop. This time around, as you've stuck this down, go over to the next pin of the comb, go around it again, and then keep going. This time around, what we're doing is we are creating something like this, which you can then convert into different shapes or mold them into different shapes and curves and so forth. That's what I'm doing. So you just keep going round and round again. Hold the middle of the comb so it doesn't come unraveled. And keep going on the outside needle of the comb. I don't even know what that term is that you use. And then when you come to the end, tap it with a bit of glue. And gently just stick it down. When you remove it, be sure to hold the middle like this. You see how it's created this gorgeous little spiral. Once you do that, with both your fingers on at the top and bottom, just slide it out gently, and you can see how beautifully this is created. It'll come unraveled like this, but that's okay. Now, what you can do with something like this is like a, you can just pinch it slightly, very slightly, pinch it very gently, and it will retain its shape. It won't come unraveled. You can widen it. But what I like to do, and I use this technique a lot because of the Sai Baba creation that I've made, and also for the leaves, and I'll show you the leaves on here. If you look at the leaves right here, that's the technique that I've used. Like we did with the marquise, the curled marquise, you take it at the end, pinch it, and using your finger and your thumb, you curl it or curve it. And then the opposite direction, you do the same thing. So this time around, you've got a larger one to the one that we created before, which was this, if you remember. Okay? Okay. These can be wide. You can pinch them slightly to make them thinner. You can really create these shapes. They're very, very versatile. You can use them in a lot of creations. And that's exactly what I've used even for the petals. Just lift this slightly. Can you see the petals here? I've used a lot of these combed pieces to create the petals. Okay. Let's see. I will actually show you something else which I have. Where did it go? Oh, right there. So here you have a flower, and this flower, I think I showed you in the first live that I did. This flower is made up of 6 different combed pieces to create one petal, and then the outline, I've actually taken a strip of paper and just gone around it to hold them together. You can shape them in any which way you want. Now these ones, what I've done is I've actually kept them quite pointy, but what you can also do is by using your thumb, you can just pinch it out slightly to create that curve. Can you see that? Yeah, so this was the original one. I've just pinched the edge and curved it very slightly, and it's given it that gorgeous little angle which I've got on this piece here. All right. How's that been? I hope you've been enjoying this. Thank you so much for watching. So, has this been interesting to create something like this just using a simple shape like this? It's great. I mean, I didn't know just how amazing paper quilling was and how much you can really do with just strips of paper. It's fantastic. So now that we've created this, I'm going to show you how to quickly assemble it. Okay, so what I did was I took 2 pieces right there, that one and that one, and using a bit of glue, just put the glue on one side of it and attach it together. Oh, downside of this shape, but the beauty as well, it's flexible, but it does come unraveled. So here we go. Just by that simple technique, you've gone and created a gorgeous little eye shape with a lot of detail in the middle of it. Okay, so that's what you do to create something like this. The other shape you can create was the outside, and that's a different technique altogether. For that technique, you can use this comb, but you can also use this, and I'm going to show you how to use this tool. It has tiny little needles or nails, and you just place them on these notches, as you can see. I'm going to put the first one in here. Place these needles out. Oops, that's a tight one. You can do so many things. This board is really, really versatile. Today, if you have any questions about what I do, feel free to send me a message, drop me a line, DM me on my Instagram. I'd be more than happy to answer any questions anyone has. So I'm going to show you another technique of using the curling comb. And this time round, I'll take a strip. I'm going to loosen the strip a little bit on the edge. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a tiny little loop. Okay, tiny little loop. So I've done that. Put this glue on, stick it down. And this one I'm going to put not in the center needle. I'm going to put it on the needle beside the center. Go around the center needle, go over, come back, and this time around you're coming back onto yourself. Put some glue, use the center needle as your guide. Okay, put some glue, stick it down, and go over, behind it. Again, take some glue, stick it down. Every time you go over, you're going to have to put the glue on. Otherwise, when you're trying to create your shape, it's going to come unraveled in the center and you won't get the beautiful shape that you need of this. You see how it's got this kind of, it reminds me of a fruit that has this kind of a texture in the middle, and I can't remember that fruit. Yeah. So I'll keep going. As I had mentioned before, quilling is not for those who don't have any patience. It is a very, very slow yet therapeutic technique, art form, and very, very calming. So if you're looking to do something that is calming and relaxing and mindful, this is what you need to be doing. Because I do remember when I first started quilling, I did used to get very frustrated. Oh, I can't make this. Oh gosh, this takes too long. But then as you start making these creations, you realize that quilling is very, very calming. It really grounds you. So I'll show you what it looks like now. You see how it's beautifully created that shape? Yeah. Now you can keep adding. If you think that's not going to be enough, you can keep adding your needles on the end and curling it further. But for me, I don't want to do that. I'm going to snip it and leave it at that. I did place some glue at the end. So this is going to be tricky to take out because as you've been curling around it, needles will also come away as you pull it off, because it's a little bit tight, but that's okay. Your shape is absolutely gorgeous right there. I hope you can see that. Yeah, here we go. And this, you can curl it in two ways. You can curl it outwards, and that will give you this kind of a design where you'll have like a void in the middle and you can place any small shapes inside it. Or you can curl it inwards, which is what I'm going to do to create this shape here. Yeah. So using my tool here, I'm going to hold it in the middle because I want to make sure that it's curling exactly in the middle and not on the sides. So using my tool, I'm holding it with my thumb, and with the other hand, I'm pulling it together. Once that's done, I don't need to pinch it. It's created that tiny little crease, and that's all I need. And then using another strip, a contrast all the same, I will go ahead and bind that shape together or form that shape. Okay, this is the fiddly part. I'm going to place my tool to one side, take my glue, I'll glue one side of it, Place the glue on the outside, and I'll just go around it like so. When I get to the top, I'll very gently pinch it to give me that point. But then I'll just keep going all the way around, all the way around, until I come to the end of that strip. Now you don't have to use the entire strip if you don't want to, but I think giving a nice thicker outline really enhances and exaggerates the beauty of this piece, or this shape even. Okay, so now we have this shape that I created, similar to the one that I showed you before. Okay, and if I wanted to give it a nice point, I would just pinch it a little bit and leave it at that. With this, you can go ahead and create beautiful flowers. So I think I have a few of them here already created. Where's the first one go? I have a tendency of making different shapes all the time, so I had some of these made beforehand. There we go. Lovely little flower done. That's that shape. Now, has that been interesting? I hope it has. What I'm going to show you now is gluing the really fragile and flimsy shapes that you can create. So in our last tutorial, I showed you how to make scrolls. Scrolls can be tricky. They're beautiful, but they can be tricky to glue down. So today I'm going to show you how to do that without losing its form like I've done here. I've got quite a few scrolls going on, and if you look at this rainbow that I created a couple of days ago, I've got quite a few scrolls going on in there as well. Okay, so to make sure that you maintain the evenness of each of the scrolls, it's important you use the right kind of tools. Your gluing technique needs to be on point. So I'm going to show you how to do that. And if you remember, or if you've watched my previous episodes, you'll see that I like to use a plate, tab of glue, just standard PVA glue. I like to just spread out into a thin layer. That way I will not be, there will not be a chance for my shapes to get stuck to excess glue. When there is excess glue on your plate, or wherever you're taking the glue from, your shape will actually get stuck into it because of the weight of the glue, and you won't be able to stick it properly. So I have this dark piece, and just for display purposes or training purposes, I'm going to use some of our previously made shapes, things like the double scroll. You can see that this is quite a flimsy shape, and you don't want to lose that because it's beautiful. It's a beautiful shape, and you want to make sure that when you glue it down, you maintain that shape. So the way to glue that, like I mentioned before, today my spatula is my Subway card. Subway is not open anymore, so no points are available. I decided to just use that. And as you notice, when I lift it, I've got a very thin layer of glue. When I lift it, it'll do a slight lift, but it won't stick to the plate. Keep it held with your curved tweezers and hold it in place wherever you want to place your shape. Once you've got it, don't just stick it down. You've got a second or two to adjust it, and then using all your fingers, place it down. Okay, so that's how you stick a double scroll. Another tricky one to stick down is this open coil. Remember how we made this? So we curled it and then we let it loose, not on a template or anything. We let it loose and we just left it take its own little shape. So to glue that, again, place it on your plate. Make sure your glue is very thinly laid out, thinly evened out, and then pick it up from the middle. When you pick it up from the middle, what will happen is that the middle won't get stuck to the bottom, to the plate, because what you want to make sure is that if the middle is stuck to the plate, you won't be able to lift it any further and it will deform. So that's why I lifted it from the middle. The rest of it, because it was just a loose curl, maintained its shape, and like we did with the S-scroll, I'm just going to place it and glue it down. Okay, here we go. Now, I'm going to show you this one now, because it's so loose, and these guys can be a bit tricky, and I use these a lot on my larger pieces to create the scrolls and, like, you know, beautiful little fillers, and I've done the same thing here as well. Okay, so you've got quite a few scrolls going on. You've got this scroll here, yeah. So same technique. Take your plate, and then lift one side up. And if you feel that it's not going to lift the other side and it's going to deform, hey, there's nothing stopping you from using 2 sets of tweezers to lift the other side while you're holding the one side. But that's what I do. Sometimes I use 2 tweezers to make sure that my shapes don't get deformed. And then I place it down very gently. Okay, so that's gluing down of the scrolls. The last one is the ornate scroll. Now this guy can become quite tricky. Remember we made this in our previous episode? Yeah, this can become quite tricky because there's nothing actually holding it in place. And because of so many strips that you've used, it becomes quite heavy. And once it's heavy and you place it in the glue, chances are it's going to stay stuck because of the weight of it. So with this, I use the same technique. Put the glue in, lift one side gently, and then the other. And again, if you have to use 2 tweezers, do so. But the beauty about this one is when you glue it down, you can actually shape it if it opens up. Okay? So sometimes what you might find is that it'll open up quite a lot, and you want to make sure it's a slightly tighter curl. So you can actually hold it in place with your tweezers. Place one side down, curl it slightly, adjust it, and stick it. Okay, there you go. So you've got these gorgeous little scrolls going on, and none of them actually lost their original form or shape. Okay, I hope you've enjoyed watching that. Tomorrow, hope that's been interesting. Tomorrow we will be doing a little bit more on this, and I will show you how to create the whole petal and putting the insides of this. And also, if you see this flower here, this is made up of 2 shapes and an outline. So tomorrow's tutorial is going to be how to create this flower and the rest of the pieces that go on as well. Okay? Send me a message. Let me know if you've enjoyed watching this. I know there's 2 of you watching it, or 2 of you actually. Sorry, 22 of you. Bless you. That's great. I've really enjoyed making these tutorials, but I am really looking forward to your feedback let me know how you're finding it. What more do you want to learn from me? What more can I be sharing? Would you like to have like a tutorial, not a tutorial, but like a downloadable uh, how-to guide on various pieces that I make, some simple shapes that I create, some simple art pieces that you can create yourself at home? If you do like something like that, do drop me a line, DM me on my Instagram, or even leave a comment on this stream, and I'll start putting those together and upload them on my website. But I do hope that you've enjoyed all the stuff that I've shared so far, and I will call that the end of it, because I think we're getting quite deep into all the techniques. So I hope this made sense. I hope making this shape was easy. It looks quite ornate, um, but you can do so much with it. So yeah, we look forward to watch me again tomorrow. I'll be back live at 11 o'clock on the same tutorial. Share it with your friends, anybody who is interested in learning something new. I'd be so excited to teach everybody what I know. I say a lot of don't I? But that's okay. So my website is www.vishwart.com. My Instagram is @VishwArtUK, and if you have any questions, any comments, anything that you'd like to know, feel free to email us on info@vishwart.com. So a lot of the tools will also be available to purchase online at VishWart.com. So I look forward to seeing you all. Take care, have a lovely day, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye bye for now.